Do you feel like you're in a desert? In these crazy times, do you feel like you're in a strange land, a barren land? Are you thirsty? Well, in this episode of the Friday Night Sing, we're going to talk about the desert. Not the one of sun and sand, but the metaphorical one. The one that you might find yourself in, that we might find ourselves in right now. Historically, the children of God were led into the desert to learn some lessons. And there they had to make a decision for change. True and lasting change, not the kind that's on a political sign and what it might imply. An eternal heart change. And that's what we're going to talk about on this episode of the Friday Night Sing. So let's get started. For you. 3 men on a mountain, on the crosses of shame, but the one in the middle was the one without blame. The crowd watched in sorrow at the terrible scene. 3 men on a mountain, but only one man was dying for me. Sing it, Paul. Well, friend, close your eyes and imagine Calvary long, long ago. Yeah, Paul. The sun hid its face at the dawning of grace. The earth started shaking below. He died for my sin and undoing. He died for my pain and regret. Sit down from above in a scandal of love. This world will never forget. 3 men on a mountain, on the crosses of shame, but the one in the middle was the one without blame. The crowd watched in sorrow at the terrible scene. 3 men on the mountain, but only one man was dying for me. Oh, 3 men on a mountain, but only one man was dying for me. Dying for me. Dying for me. Good boys. Amen. Ooh, 3 men on a mountain. I love that song. Great job, guys.
Good job, Polly.
Welcome to another episode of the Friday Night Sing. Episode 9. Does that seem possible?
Hard to believe, man.
9 of 16. I hope you're doing well tonight. I hope you're hanging in there. That song is on our Clear Skies CD, and on the album, we had a steel guitar player who was sought after by all the big country acts. He's played on all their albums, and he was gracious enough to come to the Friday Night Sing and to play that song with us tonight. So before he has to leave, let's say a big thank you to Scott Sanders. Thanks, Scott.
Awesome job, brother, as always.
Thank you for being here. God bless you.
Thanks, buddy.
Stay safe.
Good night, guys.
Guys, I know there's a lot of people that watch the Friday Night Sing from all over the world.
Sure.
But in the US of A, there's a lot of people today who are probably very happy or very sad or maybe even angry. But our job as the ambassadors of joy, and we got that title. Devin, you'll remember this because you was over there with us. We were in India, and we were doing a couple of shows over there, and one of the lady reporters said after the concert, "You guys are like ambassadors of joy. Everywhere you go, you just make people happy." And I'm like, I'm going to use that.
You
We have for the last 10 years. So our job as the ambassadors of joy is to bring you a perspective and realize that no matter what desert we may be in, there are decisions that we need to be making that create a long-lasting change. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later, but I thought everybody could laugh a little bit first. Could you use a laugh, guys?
Always.
Could you use a
Always.
smile?
Always.
Nothing touches my heart than being able to see our music touch other people's hearts, especially the young ones, the little kids. So here is a little girl. They put this on our Facebook comments, and I would encourage you guys, please give us your testimonies, your comments, your videos, anything that you want to share with us. We feed off that, don't we?
Absolutely.
Here is little 21-month-old Walker Shea. She loves the Friday Night Sing, and she knows all of our names, guys, and she really loves Paul Harkey. So
course. Who doesn't?
let's show this video.
Who are these? Guys?
Guys.
The guys. Who's that?
Paul,
No. Devin,
Dylan,
Paul,
Paul,
Dustin,
Tucker,
Ernie,
Nani,
Tyler,
Tyler,
Wes,
Wash,
Kelly.
Daddy,
The guys?
Josh,
The guys.
Isn't that awesome?
I love it.
Oh man, that just blesses my heart.
Me
Thank
too,
you
man.
for sending that in, and give little Walker Shea a hug for us, okay? We get a lot of cards and letters. We get a lot of emails, and so I've been reading them this week, and so we got another segment. We've got letters.
Letters to Ernie, dear Ernie.
All right, I've got this letter taped to the little stand there. This one, and I won't say the name, but it's a young man who said, "Dear Ernie and the guys," another guys. Said, "I really love the Friday Night Sings. I love how you portray the gospel music.
Awesome.
I just want you to know, no matter what happens, what comes next, you guys will always be my second favorite quartet."
We're number 2.
That's good to know, isn't it?
I love it. Hey, man.
So thank you, buddy. And then we got another, and we get a lot of these. It's like, "Ernie and the guys, can you share your favorite joke or road story?"
I'm not doing it.
One of my favorite jokes, and since we're kind of still in a little of a political season, is a joke that Mr. Gaither used to tell on stage. Every time there'd be a 4-year cycle of election, he'd always recycled this joke, and it was always so funny. And I can't tell it as well as Devin can. Devin, remember that joke that Mr. Gaither used to tell?
Kinda, yeah, I think I do.
Won't you tell it?
All right, I'll give it a go. So the way I remember it is this. It says there was a Republican and a Democrat, 2 old boys sitting around, probably having coffee and just giving each other up the road. And, because neither party's good, neither party's, whatever. And he said, the Democrat said to the Republican, he said, "You know what I think about you?" He said, "I just can't stand your party. You think we're all a bunch of heathens." And the Republican said, "Well, you are." He said, "We are not." He said, "Well, I tell you what," the Republican said, "I bet you $50 you don't know the Lord's prayer." And he said, "You're on." He stood there for a second and he said, "Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray." And the Republican reached in his pocket handed him $50 and said, "You sure could have fooled me."
I love that joke. I love that joke. Devin, you nailed it. Way to go, buddy. Way to go.
I love.
Well, one of my favorite road stories also is something at my own expense, so to speak. And I could tell it also, but nobody tells it like the guy who was there when it happened. So he's agreed to be here, guys, on the Friday Night Sing. Yeah. Welcome to the Friday Night Sing. His first time, my old friend, Scott Fowler.
Yeah. Hey, Ernie. Hey, fellas. How you guys doing?
Man, it's good to see you.
Hey, thanks for having me on your Friday Night Sing, man. I've watched them all, and I love them. It's a great idea. So thanks for including me.
Oh, man. So you've been watching the Friday Night Sings with us?
I have, man. They're really good.
Awesome, man. Well, you know there's a donate button where you can support.
Yeah, close your eyes. Tell me what you see.
So some of the guys have heard this story, some haven't. So at my expense, the funniest road story I know.
You're going to let me tell it because you know how much I love this. It's sort of a Ernie roast, and I love that. So we stopped at Johnny Rockets, that 50s diner at the Mall of America, and most folks know you love Elvis. And at this diner, they have those little jukeboxes at every table. You put a quarter in it and you select the music you want to hear. You filled that thing up. I don't know if you remember, man, but you had 30 minutes of nonstop Elvis music playing. And the waitress came by to take our order, and you were singing along with Elvis. And she looked at you with a straight face, and she said, "Hey, buddy, keep your day job." And we laughed. I'll never forget the look on your face, man. You went from like an Elvis Presley look to, I don't know, a Gomer Pyle look. It was priceless. So thanks for letting me roast you on your own show tonight.
Man, well, thank you for telling that story. And hey, you can't come to the Friday Night Sing, and especially since we're talking about the topic of change, without singing your signature song, "He Made a Change." Would you sing that with us tonight?
Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely, man. Great song. You wrote it. Let's sing it.
Here we go. Kick it off, guys.
All right, come on now, Devin. Sing it, baby.
When Paul met the Lord on Damascus road, he never was the same again. When Peter met the Lord, he left his boat and started fishing for men. Well, I may not be Peter or Paul, but one thing I can truly say: when I met the Lord and made him my choice, he definitely made a change.
He made a change.
He made a change in the way that I'm walking.
He made a change.
He made a change in the way that I'm talking. Old things pass away, behold, everything's new. He made a change in the life that I'm living. I'm born again, set free, finally forgiven. If he can make a change in me, he can make a change in you. All right, fellas.
Yes, he can.
Thanks, Scott.
Now I've seen some old friends are shaking their heads, cause they never thought they'd see the day when a sinner like me would praise the Lord or bow my head to pray.
Come on, man.
I'm not what I used to be. You see, my life has been rearranged. Well, it's nothing that I've done, but I have found someone who definitely made a change.
He made a change in the way that I'm walking.
He made a change.
He made a change in the way that I'm talking. Old things pass away, behold, everything's new. He made a change in the life that I'm living. I'm born again, set free, finally forgiven. If he can make a change in me, he can make a change in you. He made a change in the way that I'm walking.
He made a change.
He made a change in the way that I'm talking. Old things pass away, behold, everything's new.
Yeah. He made a change.
He made a change in the life that I'm living. I'm born again, set free, finally forgiven. If he can make a change in me, he can make a change in you. Come on, Ernie. Come on, Ernie. He made a change in the way that I'm walking. He made a change in the way that I'm talking. All things pass away. Behold, everything's new. He made a change in the life that I'm living. I'm born again, set free, finally forgiven. If he can make a change in me, he can make a change in you. Yes, he can. I said if he can make a change in me, he can make a change in you. That's right. I know if he can make a change in me, he can make a change in you. He made a change.
He made a change.
Yay! Great job, guys!
Good job, Scott.
Yes.
Great job, Scott.
Great song. Thank you, man. That's fun.
He made a change, man.
He did.
Man, that song was made for you. I mean, that was made for you.
Man, thanks for letting me. Years ago, when you wrote that, you immediately said, I want you to sing this, Fowler. And it's sort of been a signature song for me, so thank you.
It has. I remember when we wrote it, I told Joe Lindsey, I said, this has got Scott Fowler's name written all over it. And so, man, and you still sing it?
We do, every night.
All right, all right. Well, most people that are watching know our relationship from the days of the Cathedrals.
Right.
We both joined the group in 1990, and man, we just have so many memories. And you know, we could talk all night about that, but what most people don't know is that you and I met probably in 1980.
In 1984, in college, Oakland City College, there in Oakland City, Indiana.
Yeah, we sang in a group called
Earthlight.
Earthlight.
Yes.
It was a mixed ensemble.
That's right.
We traveled in a church van and went around singing to little churches, trying to recruit kids to come to school and learn music and learn about Jesus, didn't we?
We did, man. I always tell folks that after we left, you and I started a group called Moonshine to sort of rival the Earthlight days. Just kidding.
It was a sequel to Earthlight,
Right.
Moonshine. And then people, they should know that you had to leave school early because your father passed away.
Right.
And I remember that horrible day.
Yeah.
And it was just a horrible lead up to that. He struggled for so long. I remember going to the funeral, singing. We sang at the funeral. And then you left school for a while. And then when you came back, I had just got a call to go sing on the road and start touring. So our paths kept crossing. But we always stayed in touch, didn't we?
Yes, we did. That's what good old friends do. They stay in touch.
That's right. That's right. And then I remember we met in Nashville one year to go to the National Quartet Convention. And we met on the exhibit floor. And, you know, Lisa's mom just passed away a few months ago. So we put up, because it was a limited viewing, we put up a bulletin board of pictures of her life. And I found a picture of her standing at the Cathedral Quartet booth in 1985. Somebody had taken a picture of Clara. And in the background, it's me and you and my mom standing at the Cathedral product table looking at CDs. And
Isn't that
cassettes.
something? Providence.
Oh, man.
Who knew?
Yeah. No, there was no way we could have known.
We were standing in the booth we wanted to stand in, weren't we?
That's exactly right. We were dreaming. We were dreaming. And then, you know, 1990, I get the job, and then I remember Glenn asking me, do you know anybody who's young, single, who can play bass guitar and can sing? And I said, oh boy, do I ever. And you came to the group, and I got married to Lisa, and then you were in my wedding.
Yep.
I think some people would like to know that.
Yeah.
And so, man, we've had a real relationship through ups and downs, bumps and high points and low points. You've always stayed true, and you've always been a voice of reason. And I think you've always known, because you're laid back. You've always known that I was wired a little bit differently, to say the least, huh?
We're all wired different. You know, you're a great leader with a type A personality, and you like to get things done. And I love that about you. That's why you're so good at what you do.
Well, thank you for saying that, but that is exhausting after a while. And I still have that drive, and I want to do things to the best of my ability. But I remember there were about 5 years ago, I remember we were talking. You said, something's going on. And I said, yeah, I'm wore out. I'm wore out from
Remember that.
And I had all of this energy, and I couldn't channel it right, and I was just exhausted with me. I've been writing about change for all these years, and I'm like, Lord, let this gospel change me from the inside. I'm just tired of this on again, off again roller coaster of emotions.
I remember,
Do you remember that?
I remember that call. I do. It really stuck out in my mind because it was at that point that I really started noticing that change, and watched you for a while and saw that it was real and it was lasting. And I hope it's okay if I tell this because I think this is really important. I remember asking you a couple of months after that, man, I've noticed this change, and I'm just curious, what was the impetus that brought this about? And I'll never forget what you said. You said, I'm tired of having to always apologize for something I've said or done, and I'm tired of not having any real friends. And I'll never forget that, man. I thought that was a real transparent, real honest moment. And I love that, man. I love redemption. I love self-awareness. And that was a real turning point, I think, for you in your life.
It was. And usually when you say, when you have to say you're sorry, it's usually just somebody you care about the most.
Always.
And it's like they always catch that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I just got tired of that and started asking the Lord, how can this change be real?
Mm.
And I think back in those days, and even today still yet, David, the psalmist, he wrote it. It was put to music. George and Glenn sang it. Search me, O God.
Mm.
Know my heart today. Try me, O Savior. Know my thoughts, I pray. Remember that song?
See if there be some wicked way in me. I do remember.
Cleanse me from every sin and set me free. I think there's a lot of guys. Thank you for sharing that story. And yes, I'm perfectly fine you sharing that because there's a lot of guys out there wired like me. And they've come to the end of themselves and they realize I'm not in control. I can't control. Life is controlling me, and you need to let go and let the gospel change you from the inside. I can personally tell you.
Yeah.
He can make the change.
And I think it's important to be real, and that's what you were doing, being real.
Oh, man. Hey, do you think, nobody could do it like the Masters, but George and Glenn had a relationship that was long and lasting and through ups and downs.
Yes, they did.
They were able to sing that song. I think we're at the place now in our lives, and we've been together long enough that we probably could sing that song.
Just the two of us?
Just the two of us. Why not? Let's try.
Okay.
After the show, head over to ErnieHaase.com by typing ErnieHaase.com into your web browser. There you will find our brand new website. You can also follow the happenings of Signature Sound by finding your favorite social media platform in the upper right-hand corner. And while you're there, be sure to sign up for my free monthly newsletter by clicking here. I I love sending out personal emails once a month with inspirational writings and all the EHSS happenings. If you want to schedule me and the guys for a 2021-2022 event or concert, you can do this by clicking right here. And if you want to know more about all the guys in my team, click on their bio page. And if you want to know more about all the music we've created the past 15 years, click on the music page. And if you'd like to purchase CDs, DVDs, LPs, and all the fun merchandise, you can do that by clicking on the Store tab. And finally, we want to encourage you to click on the Partner tab. If you'd like to see the Friday Night Sings continue, and if it's been a blessing to you, become a partner. You can do so weekly, monthly, or with a one-time pledge, or however you feel led. Hey, thank you so much. And now, back to the show. Well, I think you guys have learned by now my favorite thing about the Friday Night Sing is introducing you to some of my friends. And you guys have caught on. You've really enjoyed meeting some of my friends, some new friends, some old friends. Well, on this episode of the Friday Night Sing, I'm introducing you to my oldest friends in the entire world. Would you welcome to the Friday Night Sing my mama and my pop? Welcome to Friday Night Sings, Mom and Dad. Hey, it's good to see you.
Good to see you, bud.
Hey, so you guys look snuggly.
Oh, yeah. It's cold out here.
Finally got some cool weather?
Yes, it's
All right.
cool weather here.
You're on your back patio.
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear the ducks. I can hear them in the background. You guys look great. It's so good to see you. Mom, how you feeling?
I'm feeling really well, really good.
Good.
Yes.
Pop, how you doing?
Doing good.
Still golfing?
Sure.
Well, I tell you what, there are so many stories that we could spend all episode talking about. But you know, I will say this to the people. They should know Dad was always my coach. No matter what sport I played, Pop was my coach. And then Mom always encouraged me with music and art. So she took me to music lessons and art lessons. And so music, art, and sports. I think you guys knew from day one your firstborn was a little different.
Strange.
Strange indeed, strange indeed. Well, Mom, I want to narrow down to two stories. And first, I want you to tell the story about when I came home from school with a really, really bad headache. So I'll let you pick it up from there.
Oh, the day that you were sick?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a real bad headache and was sick, and we took him to the hospital, and it wasn't good. They said he had spinal meningitis, and really they told us he may not live very long. So God had a plan, still used the doctors and the medication and the prayers of God's people, mainly.
Yeah, 3 spinal taps in one night.
Yeah, yeah. And he stayed in the ICU for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Pretty bad. But God's been good. And he's still here, and he's still our number one. He's still my baby boy, my pride and joy.
And then rewind a little bit more, because this is really important to the story. How did you guys first meet?
You want to tell them? Well, I was stationed down at Fort Campbell in the 101st Airborne, and Evansville was 100 miles away. That's where all the pretty girls were. That's where all us guys would come up, and then we met. We met on the highway. It was the old restaurant where you could drive around. And she was parked there, and just went up there and talked to her.
And I think you told me that you went up to Mom and you asked her if she wanted to ride a motorcycle?
Yeah, one of my buddies had his motorcycle up here. We weren't supposed to be on it, but I said, ask her if she wanted to go on a motorcycle ride. I didn't even know how to ride one myself. So we went, and we didn't get killed, so we're here, still here.
Well, the story that I wanted the people to hear the most, and a lot of people have heard it because of this next song, is a story about Christmas about 5 or 6 years ago. I was there at the house, and the house was loud and noisy, as Christmases are supposed to be. And I remember you coming up and saying, hey, let's get out of here, and it's me and you go chat for a little bit. I think we went up to the country club, and we were the only ones there. We sat and talked, and I remember you telling me how you loved the song that we were singing at that time. My Life Was Changed by Baby Boy. And I want you to pick up the story right there. As tell the folks what you told me that night.
Well, it's kind of, we was driving back, and I said, you know, I said, that album had just come out, and we was listening to it, and I said, you know, my life was changed by a baby boy too. And I said, you're the one that changed the direction that I was going. We talked about it a little bit, and of course, the older I get, the more teary-eyed I get. And I just hugged your neck and just told you, you changed the direction I was going.
Yeah, I think you said, I think you told me that when you walked into the delivery room when the day I was born, that I smiled at you?
Oh, yeah, well. That's what I said. The other guy said, well, you just had gas. But I said, no. I said, he looked at me and he smiled at me. And I said, so.
So what'd you go, and then you told me you went back and told Mom?
Yeah, I told Mom. We sat down at the bed and I said, you know, I'm going to be the best dad I know how to be. And I'll be here till the end. Yeah. And so that's what happened when you were born.
And you did just that, Pop. You did just that. You're a great dad. I'm a blessed son to have you as parents. Well, that story rocked my world, so much so that when I came back home, I was in a writing session with my two friends, Wayne Haun and Joel Lindsey, of course, and I told them that story. And I remember you saying, Jesus changed everything that day, and it started with a smile from a little baby boy. And I told them, I said, I cannot get that line out of my mind. Jesus changed everything. Jesus changed everything. And so we sat down and we wrote that very personal song. Because in my life at that time, he was making a change. This whole episode is about how the change happens. And when you get serious with the Lord and you come to the end of yourself, a change can happen. And so we wrote the song, and I've told parts of that testimony all over the world. And Dad, because you were open and transparent that night with me, our relationship went even deeper, didn't it? We've always been close, but it took on a whole new level. So before you leave, I've been asking my friends to introduce the last song. So my oldest, truest, most loyal friends in the world that literally gave me life. Would you introduce this special song to the people?
Everybody listen to this song. Your life can be changed by a baby boy, Jesus, and your firstborn.
Yes. And he changed our lives, our baby boy.
And here's the song, Jesus changed everything.
I love you guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Jesus changed everything. Jesus changed everything. There is joy overflowing. I'm forgiven and free. Jesus changed everything. I was blind, or maybe I just didn't want to see how foolishly I tried to build my own destiny. But all my well-constructed plans, they failed me time and time again. So my broken heart came to him with empty hands. That's when Jesus changed everything. Jesus changed everything. Now there is joy overflowing. I'm forgiven and free. Jesus changed everything. Singer. I was filled with pain and guilt, but now I know His peace.
Yes, singer. Yeah.
The chains of yesterday have now been released.
Sing, man.
The bitterness that I once knew,
Yeah, that's right.
all the anger that inside me grew, were all washed away by the grace that made me new, because Jesus changed everything. Jesus changed everything. Now there is joy overflowing. I'm forgiven and free. Jesus changed everything. Yes, there is joy overflowing. I'm forgiven and free. Oh, my Jesus, my Jesus, my Jesus, Jesus changed everything. Yes, changed everything. Changed everything.
Yes, he did.
Hallelujah.
Yes, he did.
Thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
Woo. Wow. Oh, that might be my favorite episode of all. Jesus changed everything. Big thank you to our guests, and especially my mama and my pop. I'm a beloved son. I'm lucky, I know. In the beginning, God did not create deserts, did He? He created a beautiful garden. We create the deserts. But we have His promise. One day there's going to be a new heaven. There's going to be a new earth. There's going to be a new government and a new way of living in peace, love, mercy, justice, together in unity forever. Isaiah 53 says that one day when that happens, the deserts will bloom. But until that happens, God may not cause this desert, but He can use this desert to make us bloom. Bloom into the likeness of His beloved Son, Jesus the Christ. And that's why we sing. That's the greatest decision you'll ever make. And that's the decision we all have to make alone for ourselves. He is here. He is with us. He is for us. God bless. See you next week. Wake up, a whole new day is dawning for you.